seems a little weird to me. Oh, hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Chantel, but you can call me Chanty. And today I'm kind of doing more of a get ready with me style video, but I'm also going to be reviewing the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Foundation. I grabbed it in the color Rose Ivory. This seems like the best match. Right now, obviously, I can't just test it, otherwise I would have swatched it on my hand. I zoomed you guys in so you could get a better look at what I'm doing. So, what has been going on with Chanty? You guys may or may not have noticed, but pretty much since 2021 started, I've really cut back on how many videos I'm putting out weekly. I used to put out a video every Wednesday and Saturday, but I got married on January 15th. And as we approached the wedding, I was getting more and more stressed, especially with all the changing restrictions. So I decided to take a break around Christmas to film. And then just like a whole new whack of changes happened in my life. I got a new job at my company, which is really exciting, but I do struggle with my mental health. I suffer from anxiety and depression. My mental health does not react well to change. Even when it's positive change, it doesn't like it. It resists it. So I tend to get insomnia and severe anxiety attacks when I'm going through changes. So rather than stress myself out more and put out kind of like half-ass content where you could tell I wasn't enjoying myself, I decided to cut back on my filming schedule just for now until I can kind of sort myself out a bit better. Also, I started working on TikToks too, which are super fun. So I have kind of been splitting my time between creating my YouTube content and creating my TikTok content. And I'm not gonna lie, TikTok has been taking up more time than I thought it would. I love doing makeup transitions on there. So if you want to check out my TikTok, I'm also Chanty Fierce on there. Also, I've been struggling a little bit with what to make my niche. When I started out on YouTube, I really thought that tutorials were gonna be my jam, but the more I was on here, the more I realized that they weren't really my style. And also you guys didn't seem to like them that much. So when I hit on my Myth, Legends, and Fairy Tales series, I was really happy to find out that you guys really like that one, because that's kind of like a passion of mine that I don't get to use that often. I was really excited to be able to share that with you guys, but I don't think I was really prepared for how much extra work it was going to be. It takes a lot. I have to write a script, I have to come up with a look, and reading off of a script while doing your makeup look is like really hard. Bailey Sarian and Robert Welsh make it look so much easier than I do. They do a phenomenal job, but even they have described in their videos the fatigue that they feel from doing that type of content every week. So as much as I want to be putting out those videos every week for you guys, between my regular job and YouTube, which is kind of like a second job to me, even though I'm not monetized yet, it just gets to be a lot. And when my mental health is suffering, I want to value that over putting out content every week, because as much as I enjoy it, it's also very stressful. It's nerve-wracking to put something out there that is partly yourself and not be too sure how people are going to respond to it. And as much as I want to say that I don't care, like it is what it is, I don't care about the numbers, sometimes I do. And especially when I'm in a poor mental health space, I really care about it. So that's when I feel like I need to take a step back. Otherwise, I'll end up getting myself kind of trapped in this cycle, getting wrapped up in numbers. And when I started YouTube, I promised myself that if it ever became too overwhelming, I would take a step back. So that's just kind of what I've been doing. I'm sorry I haven't been communicating that to you guys, but as I mentioned, I'm not monetized yet. I don't have the 1,000 subscribers that you need to be able to make community posts. Otherwise, I would be communicating with you guys there. And I found every time I went to make a video about it, I would end up scrapping it, being too hard on myself. Every time I went to edit it, it felt off. It didn't feel natural. So I felt like I needed to be able to wait until I was in a bit better headspace to be able to film something like that. I also wanted to be at a point where I could commit to a regular uploading schedule for you guys again, which I am. I think I'm ready to recommit to once a week. I'm gonna be putting videos out every Wednesday. They're probably mostly going to be my myth, legends, and fairy tales, but I'll have some other content thrown in there, like anti-hauls or reviews or other sort of like makeup discussion style videos. So that's kind of the direction that I'm thinking of heading with my YouTube channel. So I guess I should tell you about the new setup. So we live in a townhouse and we have a master bedroom and then 2 spare bedrooms, which we've been using. One for Sean's office and one was my filming studio. But one of our friends needed a place to stay for a few months, and since we had the space, we decided to clear out Sean's office, turn it into his room, and now Sean and I are sharing the second room for an office. So when we were doing some moving around, I was kind of looking around our house trying to figure out where the best spot would be to film, because Sean and I both use our offices a lot, so I didn't want to take up the office every time that I needed to film, because sometimes he needs to be in there too, and it would kind of suck for him to have to just sit there quietly while I filmed. So kind of looked around the house, and I figured the best place to film would be our basement. It just seemed like the best spot for me to set up. I've got lots of space. It's not really taking up any area that someone would really need to use. So for the next couple months, this will be my new kind of filming area. I might play around with the background a little bit, but for now you've got my nice little Harry Potter blanket. And I have to admit, I kind of thought I was done with like the roommate stage of my life. I'm also really excited to save some money. Now we've got a third person like chipping in on shared expenses. Can you guys see me all right? And whenever Sean works afternoons, it means I'll have someone else in the house with me. But mostly I'm just excited that we have the space to be able to help out one of our friends. Now, unfortunately, with the space the way it is, because I'm in the basement, sometimes we might hear like walking overhead or someone cooking their food upstairs, because we're right below the living room and kitchen. So now we've reached the portion of the video where I'm going to review the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Foundation. Oh my gosh. Okay, so opening it up, it kind of got like this dipstick that you use to scoop things out, I guess. Seems a little weird to me. I'm just gonna swatch it on the back of my hand. Oh, I don't know how she's gonna go, guys. Let's see. So it feels very liquidy, kind of watery. I'm just thinking in comparison to my Amazonian clay, it's a lot thicker. But let's try using a sponge and blending it in. Okay. So it's supposed to have a dewy finish, and it hydrates and smooths complexion for a luminous finish, buildable coverage for normal to dry skin. I look like Casper. Yeah, I think I definitely went too white with the ivory. This is what I hate about right now, not being able to just test foundations. I mean, like, sanitary wise, it's a good thing, but when you're trying to find your perfect match, this is too light, which is crazy because I'm pretty freaking white. I like the look. Like, if this was my color, I really like how the finish looks. I mean, let's see how it does after everything settles and it's been a few moments. But considering this is not my color, it's doing a pretty good job of covering my face. Wow, I can't get over how white that is. Yeah, it's just a little too light for me. Like, you can really see the difference between my neck. I also think it's just a little too pink toned for me. I need a little bit more yellow. But the coverage is really good. Like, think about how pink my cheeks were, and you can barely see that now. And it definitely has that dewy finish. I'm curious to see if that lasts past the initial application. So I'll be very curious to see how it does once I'm done with the rest of my makeup. The finish is beautiful. Let me zoom you guys in so you can see this. So as you can see, it's got really nice coverage. Don't mind the spots here where I'm gonna fill in my concealer later, but as you can see, there's just like a little bit of a glow. Not too much, like it's not sparkly, it's dewy. But it provides pretty good coverage. Like, if you remember how pink my cheeks were before, it did a pretty good job of covering that up, but it still looks like natural skin. In person and not under these lights, you can really see the texture, but I don't mind that because, spoiler alert guys, I'm human. I just realized I missed a whole spot. I'm gonna try applying my concealer and see. So I can see how I like it with concealer on too. See, now my concealer's too yellow. Fuck, okay. Let's see. Okay, that's a little bit better. I feel like now that the foundation is settling into my skin a little bit better, I don't feel like it's actually that light. So as it oxidizes, I would say it turns a little bit darker, but it still provides pretty good coverage. I am starting to see a little bit of my redness just kind of peek through here, but I have a lot of redness, so that's not surprising. Let's see if it's buildable as it claims to be. Okay, I think it builds up pretty nicely. We'll have to wait for it to settle again on this side, but I can see less pink already. Like, it's not moving around what's already there. It also just goes over the concealer nicely. I would say that's buildable. So I'm just going to do my eyebrows and plop some lashes on, and then I'll be right back, and then I can just get into my face. Okay, we are back. The brows are filled, the lashes are on, so we can get right into the face. So it's pretty well settled. I'm gonna go in with powder, bronzer, and blush to complete the look and see if this Wet n Wild concealer is up for the task. It looks like it's just going to grab onto the powder, and it's not gonna break it up. Okay, so it does pick up powder products pretty quickly, but it's not hard to buff it out without breaking up the product underneath. I can still tell I've got coverage there. I'm not wiping anything away, but I am adding my bronzer in the areas that I want it. I like that when you're adding powder to this, it doesn't rub away any of the foundation underneath. By the way, if you guys are curious at all what products I'm using as I go along, they're in the description down below, so just check that out. Now I just got to apply my lipstick, and then we can wrap this up and I can give my final review of the foundation. Overall, I found this foundation really nice. It feels comfortable on the skin. It doesn't irritate. I do wish I'd gone with a different color, so I might just go back and I'll probably get like a more medium toned with some yellow undertones just to add into this so I can mix it up and find my true match. But as far as my first impressions go, I really like this. I just wish I'd grabbed the right color. It applied easily, it was buildable, it didn't start to break down, it just held the color, but it didn't cling to it too much, so I was able to buff it out after a while instead of just keeping it in one area. I bought this for $8 Canadian, so I think this is a really good price for a decent foundation. I hope you guys like this kind of more relaxed, get ready with me style of video, mixed in with a review. It felt nice to kind of catch up on where I've been at, especially with my mental health and why I haven't been filming as much. Going forward, I am going to be putting out a video every Wednesday, but it'll be kind of a mix of my myth, legends, fairy tales, and makeup and other content that I put out. Thank you so much for sitting down with me today, guys. It really meant a lot to be able to just kind of like hash out some of these feelings I've had that I wanted to share with you. I just wasn't in the right headspace to do it. Now I'm feeling a little bit better, more in tune with my feelings. Thank you for sitting with me through that. And if you like this video and you like my vibe, don't forget to like and subscribe. Take it easy.